I am servant. I am Pisces. I've been trying to send this out a couple of times, get kicked off. I don't know what's going on. They don't want me to tell you what's going on, I guess. Uh, I just was going to tell you that people out here are using magic, witchcraft, demonology in different ways against you, against the people. They did against me. Okay? The understanding of being in a 7-year cycle and not knowing what was going on at the time. The people didn't really, they really thought that they had a chance to unalive me, and they tried their very best. But the point of when I went to doctors and I couldn't hardly walk, and they told me I got a heart of a 27-year-old, something was wrong. Something was just definitely wrong. I finally nailed it down. Somebody was putting it in my coffee, and they lived here for a little while. Well, I run them off. And then the witchcraft, the trying to cut loose demons in the house, trying to python, constrictors. They tried a lot of things. But they tried fear. The point that I didn't have any fear, because all I know that, the Father, I've known the Father all my life. And I give it all to the Father. I said, you know what, Father, I'm here. You pull me up out by my bootstraps, I'll be your servant, no matter what. And I started digging into Psalms, and I started digging into tarot. I started digging into demonology, Satanism, stuff, everything that I could find. And the point being is that all of these things started matching up from what everybody was dodging me about. Well, I found out exactly who everybody was in all of it. But the reason why, and I'm going to tell you the reason why, that you do not react to it. You don't go down and spill the gumdrops to them. You can give them a hint and then walk away. But understand that whenever it comes to judgment, and I understand this better than anybody, you're not the judge and you're not the jury. Okay? No matter what you want to do, no matter what you want to say, no matter how bad that you want to do something, you give it to the Father. That is the Father's job. And I understand that most people want to do this and want to do that. Look, it doesn't work that way. If you believe in the Father, okay, no matter what goes on, now there is justice. You may have to serve justice, but that's usually Johnny on the spot. That's usually not in certain situations like this. Well, they send python spells, constrictor spells. They go to Jamaica and get voodoo spells. This'll get him. This'll get him. This'll get him. Well, the Father downloads me, and I knew what was coming before it come. The thing about what it is about, it's all about the Father. And I know that, I've sat here and I put out over 230 something videos. And I've talked and I've talked and I've talked about different things and different scenarios, and I still talk about the Father. How everybody should go to the Father. And I understand that a lot of people out there don't understand what's going on, and I know that. And I tried to put it in layman's terms best I could, but understand this. It is witchcraft. They have their little covens running around here, and they're trying to unalive you and take your insurance or take out an insurance policy on you and take you out and take your house out from underneath you, because these guys have got computer guru guys that can change an estate plan or a deed in a matter of seconds. and it looked just as real as it can be. And I understand who did it and all of it. I was just waiting for somebody to pop the head up so I could send them to prison. Well, looks like they're going to end up going to prison anyways. So the point of it being is that all these things that you have to go through. Look at here. If you're going through it for the Father, look at here. It's like I told the Father. I said, you know what? I'll do this 10 days a week. Okay, if that's what you want me to do, Father. Now that is in it to win it. That's not in it to say anything else. It's all to the glory of the Father. Okay? Everything I do is for the glory of the Father. Everything I say is for the glory of the Father. Not me. Not 1 ounce to me. Because I am a servant. That's what I am. And the point being that every one of you out there that may be going through something like this, may feeling like you get up and you want to go somewhere, and then you get in the car, and then you turn around and you come back, and you want to get in the car and you go somewhere, and then you got to go back to the house, and then you wonder what's going on. You wonder what. Then all of a sudden you jump into Psalms, and guess what? The Father starts enlightening you what's going on with your life. Okay. A lot of people say that, they have fear, they don't want to go somewhere, they don't want to do something, they don't want to change their life. It's the same old cycle. Let me explain something to you. You spend time with the Father and tell Him exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. Not two ways about it. You plant those seeds, and let me tell you something. They will grow into gifts and blessings in front of you. No ifs, ands, buts, or ors. For me, look at here. I said that I can go out and make millions of dollars. Okay, right now I can go, start businesses. I already have, and I put them all on hold, And the thing about it is, why? Because I made a promise to the Father that I would do this right here, forever and a day. So the point, whenever I say something, I mean it. I will do it. Point being is that most people won't. They don't have the gumption to starve to death or whatever it takes to please the Father. But I do. So understand, everybody out there, that when you get in these situations, you don't know what's going on. You're spun up and you don't know, okay? And you hear me talk about chosen ones, okay? Chosen ones are the ones that are out there that went through all this, okay? The same as I did. In a different way, I hope. I hope they didn't have covens and warlocks and demons after them, because guess what? It could be. But they had family problems. They had different kinds of problems, different kinds of things, whatever went on. But there's a bunch of us out there that went through all this. And we went through it, in it to win it. Now, what did we win? I wanted a seat at the stairs of the throne. I want to talk with the Father. That's what I want. But most people, they can't imagine what they want. My gift, is right now. Like I said, this is not me. This right here talking to you guys is not me. It's just something that has to be said, and that's every day. I don't have a problem with it, but that's the Father talking, not me. Okay? Am I trying to get something out of this? I don't think I've got anything out of it yet. I think I got 100 views yesterday, which was cool. Am I making it profitably? Not yet, but I'm working on it. The things that you people know, guess what? I don't know. Okay. I listen to a lot. I view a lot, but I don't have the skills because I wasn't raised up in this stuff. Now, if you want me to build you a nuclear plant, you want me to build you a rocket, or I can do all that. Okay, I helped build the tracking system of the space shuttle. So I'm not a dumb man. It's just the technology at me had skipped so many generations. Um, I'm still in DOS and doing in gates and out gates. So the thing about this is going to take me a little while on the learning curve, but I'll get it straight. I'm going to get uh, my other stuff put up together. But understand that, whenever you got fear, let me tell you something. I know what it's like. Okay? I never knew it before. I didn't know what it was ever like. But when you do not know what's going on in your life and you do not have an understanding of what's going on, then you don't know. And then you have to do a deep dive. And most people won't do what I do. I do it when I get into something. I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to figure out how I got into it, and then I'm going to get out of it one way or another. But you got to understand that it was all the Father. He's the one that led me to Psalms. He's the one that led me all the way through this. Okay? And I had to go through it to understand what you people have been going through and what I'm supposed to be doing here now and how am I supposed to be talking to you. I use a lot of different terminology, from tarot to demonology to all this, the things that I would look. The Father, like I said, I went to Kentucky, and I didn't go down there exactly for what happened, but it was meant for me to figure it out, that somebody worships something else, some other kind of deity that is from the movie Troy, and I'm going, this doesn't make any sense. And then I go to understand that there's 8 different classifications going on out here in this world, and it only leaves 2 classifications left for Christianity. Okay? And then the Father tells me, I read in Ezekiel, there was something in there that made me think about March, something going on in March. So I'm telling you, from my story, the wickedness that's going on out here, that's acceptable, it's not acceptable. The Father's not accepting this. People building idols and altars to be something else to make themselves happy because their childhood was not good. The reason why their childhood wasn't good is because your government made it bad. Oh, well, it was because people were doing this to kids and that to kids. Look here. They was whooping their kids. So what? Oh, well, that's cruelty to animals. Or no, it's cruel. It's not. The thing about it is, spare the rod, spoil the child. If they do not have a fear base in their parents, guess what? You have rampant sin running. Okay? I know kids that throw their own parents under the bus. Okay? Might have been for good reason. But I watched them, 8 or 9 years old. Oh, yeah, they just beat me. Never touched them, But the thing about what you got now is you have a world that has nothing but running sin. I don't know why that I'm here, why I'm putting this on, why I'm even talking about it. All I know is I'm supposed to give it out in a testimony. My testimony is that there are people out here that will do witchcraft and will do all these things to have fun, okay? So they can have Satanist parties all over the country, so they become priestesses in some kind of deal, some kind of coven, and they're spreading diseases everywhere. And that's their deal. And they just love it because they spread a disease to somebody. They just love it because they corrupted some little boy or some little girl. They just love this stuff. And I'm sitting here going, okay, Father, I understand very well. Thank you very much. So my deal is that here on the 22nd of what is it, the great reunion, more or less. The understanding that this is what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to tell you people that what is going on around you. And it, I don't want to say this in a harsh way, but it was my children. Now, understand that if it is your children, or if you know about it, you need to remove yourself. Don't stay around for the slaughter, okay? Because that's just more or less what they want to do. Or they want to get you into some kind of scam, sex party, and they'll use it against you to make you do whatever they want to do. But with me, I never was that guy. I never could step over the boundaries of what God set aside, and I never would. My youth, I did a few times, but it cost me every time I'd done something. It always cost me, and I know, I've made big money, and whenever I made big money in the wrong way, I never kept it. It never stayed. But the point, understand this: these people monitoring spirits, they monitor all right, and they will talk. They will talk behind your back and behind everybody else's back, and they'll talk to everybody in town to make you look like you're what you're not. But I think what they've done is they more or less worked themselves in a hole, because I've been using this platform pretty good and saying a few things that more or less put them back on their heels, but not compared to what's coming for them. Okay? So if you think that you're in some kind of trouble like this, or into some kind of thing like this, understand this: if you're not saved, go to the church, get yourself baptized in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay? Then understand that you can talk to the pastor to a point, but understand that you have to give this to God. You have to turn around and you have to eat it, and you have to work your way through it. There's no other way, okay? You can come in, and the point of it being is that it's just like old Joe Biden. I knew what happened to him as soon as I seen him. That was witchcraft. That was chaos spells and flying monkeys. Because when a man loses cognitive skills like that quick, he's more or less pushed aside. And there's people that know how to use that, and is good at it. But understand this: there's no weapon forged against you shall prosper. Okay? And the point of it is that you're left open. Okay? And what that means is when you're left open, you'll catch it. And when you catch it, you'll spin with it, and then you'll reject it. Okay? And the thing about rejecting it is when you went to Psalms, then you understood that no weapon forged against you will prosper. The wicked, the insecurity of the wicked, you send that back. Okay? And that's Psalms. Then you jump right over in the steadfast love of God. Okay? These were the ones that I used. Prayers for the deliverance from the enemy. Okay? A cry of anguish, a song of praise. And let me tell you something. You'll know what it means when you cry of anguish. The works of the Word of God, a prayer of victory. And you'll stay in that, and you'll stay in it, and you'll stay in it. You'll get a breath, and then whenever you know that you're coming out of it, it's the Father will give you something to laugh about. And you'll laugh, you'll laugh for a couple of days, because you needed that. You needed those old belly laughs. And the only way that you win out of these deals is love. All this is about love. There's no other way of getting through anything. It doesn't make any difference what frequency, it doesn't make any difference where you're at, what you're doing, anything that's going on. It's all in love. You have to use love against anything that's dark. Okay? And you open your heart up, and then you'll find a little fear, that's Satan, that will push against you. The inhabitation of God's holy hill, a goodly heritage, a prayer for help in trouble, a folly of wickedness of men. Look, the refuge of the upright. Every one of these prayers are for you under attack. Okay? They're also the prayers to understand who you need to be as in Christ. You have to be the upright man. You have to be the knight. Okay? Honor, truth, justice, righteousness, charity. Okay? Compassion, mercy. All these things are who you have to be. This world is so bad at this point in time. Like I said, I stayed here and took care of my mother for 14 years till she passed away. And I was fine about going on about my business. But being stirred up and being cut off from the world had a problem with whenever they started sending the witchcraft in. And they still do, But the point of it is that they do it at their own detriment now, and they know that. Because what it's going to do is it'll cost them themselves dearly when judgment comes. And everybody wants to go karma. Look, I know a lot of terminology, from Greek, Hebrew, all of it. The point that this has nothing to do with the tarot. It has nothing to do with the demonology. It has to do with just plain old Satanism. That's all. It has to do with greed, malicious mischief, and all these things that you read, and all these things that I go over, and it always comes back. Look, I do not read the Bible like normal people read Bibles, okay? I come in and I do research on something. I'm researching something completely different than what the Father puts in place. I'll read something, like I said, I went to the A's to do something in the A's because I said, well, something should be pretty easy in the A's. And it would be like me looking here at abstinence. Okay? Then it'd end up in Revelation somehow. And I'm going, okay, Father. And what he is telling everybody, and what he's telling me, that something's coming, something's up. That the people need to be prepared of whatever is coming. And I read everything, even the sun, even the moon. I pray at night, at midnight. I pray at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't pray to the moon, or anything like that. I pray to the Father. I've seen things that people will never believe. The sun was in one side, and I was sitting there looking at the sun. There was a cloud, and it looked like women's hair, and that reminded me of the plague of Egypt. And then I seen rainbow. Okay. And the thing that's out here in this world right now, you got, in the point of what I'm looking at, is 60% evil and 40% good. Okay, 45, 55 maybe. But the thing about it is that nobody's doing anything about it. Well, as I'm reading, the Father is sending something out. Okay? He's sending something out through here. And darkness is fleeing. When I'm talking to you or talking to anybody else, darkness is fleeing. Maybe it's darkness around you. Maybe it's you that has some kind of darkness attached to you. Or maybe I had to talk to you about something But this time, I'm giving it all up, and I want it to be over with, but it's not going to be over with. It's just the fight's just begun. I know my job uh, is the warning is that these people are using all this stuff, which I give hints about decrees and about Ashtara and about Lilith and about Baal and about, a lot of things. But the understanding is that you don't know that the principality has been using this on you for years. And the pastors, the preachers, the evangelists, and all these people out here, what was they afraid of? To tell you the truth, or did they even know the truth? Or do they even know the Bible? Okay? You go to church, they go to a seminary, and they go to school to learn learn the Bible and be a biblical preacher or whatever they want to be, but they do not catch a decree, or they do not catch that a sorcerer or a sorceress or a demon. They don't use the terminology in the right way. Why? I don't know. I don't know if I just been woke up to the fact that that's what it is and nobody ever seen it the same way I do or whatever it may be. But what I see is completely different from everybody else, what they see. From what I say is completely different from everybody else says, because I use all of the terminologies, not just one. But I know one thing. I do have the favor of God. I wouldn't be here today talking to you about it if I didn't. And I wouldn't be able to tell you that I have seen the hand of God. And the understanding about all these other things, I have no idea about. The point of some astrology I do know about, the term of the 13 months to the 365 days a year, there was a reason for it. Nobody knows why. The exact timelines, they had to be misconstrued somewhat. But as your energy level comes up and as you jump timelines, I do understand that. I understand the energy part. I understand the timeline parts. The point of how you use your frequencies for the Father. Now, outside of that, metaverse, universe, whatever it may be, ancestors, whatever, source. I know God is the only source for a fact. Does he have many sources? Yes, he does. Yes, many. If you want to say ancestors, I don't know what else you could say it could be. Could you say that the universe? Well, it's his creation. I guess he can use it any way he wants to. But he knows every one of you by heart, man, women, and children, every one of you. But you spending time with him, you having a problem that you say that you're into, you think that your family or somebody else has got close to you and has done spells or whatever you may be cast upon, okay? Let me tell you this. There's no fear, because the point of fear is to keep you there, okay? I stayed here in it to win it. I didn't stay here to then be run out. I told the Father that I wasn't leaving. I said they can unalive me right here. And the point of it, why he put me that way, is because guess what? I see them all now. I see everything everywhere at any point in time. Who's ever not in a good way, I can tell you who they are. And if they speak, I'll tell you what they're doing. So understand that what position you got into for the people to be doing what they're doing to you. If there's something happening to you, you can take it to your pastor. I'll be scare him to death, but you can take it to him. And then they might want to do an exorcism on you. But understand this, there's no higher power, okay, than Jesus Christ. And there's no higher power than God. So when you call on one, Jesus, you're calling on the high power. And when you call that power out, but let me tell you something, the Father's going to want something back, okay? He wants his child. And that's what he wanted from me. So I give it all to him. And like I said, I've been here tearing up the video and just trying to get everybody anchored in what I do and what I say. Meeting that little girl out there saying that she was pagan. Look, that would have never happened in a million years anywhere in the world, okay? And I drive all the way out there to find somebody that's pagan. Makes no sense. And she's friends with a Satanist. And they go, did you ever read Satan's commandments? And I said, you know what? I don't think I'm that stupid. And that's kind of my terminology there. But see, I've been hidden all my life. I never went anywhere. I never done anything. I'd go to party, just doing the dad thing, or go to work, come home, go to work, come home. Didn't care what anybody else was doing. And then I step out here at this later time in life and then come to figure out that everything's falling to staves. And most people don't know what staves is. But, I still live a generation that you go out and kill your own meat, you raise your own garden, you dig your own ditches, you put in your own water lines, you build your own house, you build your own place. That's where I come from, okay? And the Father, when I was 5 years old, I was looking at the southwest part of the sky, and I was up there catching horny toads. And I seen up there in the sky, it was either Hebrew, Aramaic, it was something. But I knew who it was and what it was. I, didn't have no clue about it, so I just went on about my business. Well, that's where I was affirmed at that point in time in my life. For some reason and somehow. There's nothing ever touched me. Nothing ever come close to me. Whatever I decided to do, I did it. If I wanted to go build an oil company, I went and built an oil company. Wouldn't have 2 cents in my pocket. I wanted to start a well service company. I went financed well servicing, went to well servicing. Whatever I wanted to do, I just went and done it. And that's called the part of affirmation, okay? Or manifestation. And you do that through God, okay? So understand that He's had His hand on me for quite some time, all my life, except for whatever this was, the last 7 years. I'm going, whoa, whatever I've been into, Father, I apologize. I really do. But I had to go through it to realize, my faith was my faith all my life. I knew there was God. I knew there was Jesus. But until now you really know that there's a God and that there is really Jesus. And when you get in my position, you will do anything for the Father. Anything. Okay? Now maybe, the point of the tarot part of me being Pisces, and these people are reading in tarot what I was doing. Okay? And it was Father trying to teach me a lesson. It wasn't trying to teach me a lesson. He was trying to, hey, wake up. Hey. Because, see, I didn't know nothing about none of all this. Even in the demonology part. Even when you seen it there. And you could see it come through. And even when you've seen it in the Bible. And everything started coming together, and I'm going, surely not, and I'm sitting there, I'm still back here I'm still back in the 40s, okay, 50s, 60s, And then he wakes you up and says, guess what? You got a whole bunch of Satanists around you. You got a whole coven in town. You got these people trying to unalive you. You got people trying to cast demons and everything else on you. And it seems so unreal, until you go through it. And when you go through it, it's a mess. It really is. It makes a mess of your life, makes you fearful, makes you understand that there's such thing as fear. I never knew it. I never knew anything about fear. Now I do. And the Father wanted me to make sure that I told y'all every bit of this. I don't know why at this time, but I tried 4 times to send out some little something to put on here today. And I was stopped every time. It just didn't sound right. It just wasn't going to be right. It's just not right. It's just not right. It's not going to be right. The point that the Father wanted me to tell you all of this is because He knows that there's somebody out there that's listening to me that's in the same situation I was. And I'm going to tell you, the truth is the Psalms. The truth is get you a bucket, because you're going to cry tears, okay? And then you're going to go to the Father, and you're going to give it to the Father, and you're going to explain to Him everything that you ever done in your life, from down to peeling your toenails. And the thing about it is, it has nothing really to do about that, but as soon as you get rid of all the filth, then you will be whole again. Whole. Okay, at the end of the cycle that you've gone through. If it's witchcraft, warlocks, whatever, if you feel it and you can't get rid of it and you can't shake it, then all you do is you get in your Psalms and you stay in your Psalms. And you're going to be down for days. You're going to be sitting there reading for days. And you'll read this thing front back, front back, front back, front back. That's why I said, your precepts, statutes, commandments, testimonies in Psalms 119. That is everything that you need to know about anything in the Bible, because it's going to make you research every square inch of it. I was going to teach on Deborah tonight. The thing about it was I was going to talk to the ladies. The point being is that you don't understand that these people that are trying to take your homes, they're trying to take your life for insurance policies, they're trying to get you to sign over whatever you can sign over to them, because they're good at this. They're very good at it, okay? They almost had me stopped. And look, I'm I'm a different cat. I don't believe in stuff like that. I never have. And the thing about it is, when it hits you in the teeth, once you get it, then you understand it. Now, the reason why a weapon no forged against me will ever prosper is because I am a child of God, and I did give my life, all of it, to the Father. So I come on here and I say what I say and I do what I do, and I'm just learning how to do algorithms. I got 100 views, and then there was some kind of confetti come off there, and I'm going, whoa, I got 100 views, and whatever that meant. I don't know what it means, but I'm learning. Web page, I would rather do seminars on stage, because I have a big presence. I don't have a fear. I don't know what fear would be like anymore. Once you go through this, look, kind of like that one night, in front of 1,000 horsemen, all you got to do is just get your hands full. It'll be over in a few minutes. That's how you feel, But understand, if you're in trouble, you're hurting, you don't know why, maybe it's just because maybe you're in a bad part of your life. The point of the Psalms, you'll reach in there and you'll grab one of them, you'll start reading them, and then one of them will be your Psalms, okay? And then you can flip over into Proverbs and kind of do some research in Proverbs. I haven't done a lot on Proverbs because I know where Proverbs goes to, and I'll get into Proverbs. I do read a little bit out of Proverbs, but if you really want to know who yourself is, Proverbs will turn you where you need to be at, because it'll tell you what you did, what you didn't do, and what you need to do. Psalms will cover everything about going to the Father, because everything is about the Father. It's not about nothing else. I mean, Satan can do what he can do, but if you understand Satan, that's the point. You understand him to be the great liar, the great manipulator, the great accuser. That's his folly. To be able to look at the Father and hit you in the head with a brick and make you start cussing up a storm and using the Father's name in vain, and him pointing up there at the Father going, "See, I told you. See, I told you." That's what his job is. He'll use his little minions to get you tangled up. He will use Satanists to kind of build a crew together of covens and come out here and start doing these little things in these little old towns, because nobody's aware of it. And then he'll get those people hooked, and they have all kinds of diseases that they want to give everybody in their parties. And as long as they can keep everybody diseased up. But see, that's the thing. Satan has no side. There's only one side to him. That's his. He doesn't care about who he uses or what he uses. The little young men, the young women, they want to be hot stuff. And, we all went through it. And they end up at one of those parties, and they get drugged, and they do these things, and they get pictures taken of them, and they'll make them go in and breadcrumb some old man or some old lady and start trying to do love spells at that point. And when they do start doing love spells, then they get locked up. The psychology part starts, and then they'll start using whatever they got to use to unalive them. And the point being is that everybody out there, I can say things about all of it because I've researched it all. I've watched it all for the past year and a half. Yeah. And tarot, you got to understand that the good parts and the bad parts of all of it is that the mammon part, you got to really understand mammon. Money is the root to all evil. And when you understand what that means, then you'll understand where you're at, the point of root of all evil. Money, being prosperous, charity, compassion, love, tithing. You be a trillionaire, and do the humble and the right thing, and you can still be a trillionaire. That doesn't change you. But a trillionaire, you say like Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, all these guys, you got to really understand that what they're into. Okay, they're into creation. Same as Japan was in creation of making, I call them jelly bellies, but what they're doing is they're actually letting robots grow fetuses inside of them, And there's a big thing coming, okay, out of all this. And I'll find it. The Father knows I'll find it. But it's something that's coming. And the point of understanding where you're at, all I can tell you is, stock up, build you some caches, just be prepared. Try to find some like-minded people. The outsider is always going to be the outsider unless you can turn them. And there is a, what do you call them? A Judas. always a Judas. So you got to look around for your Judases, and they're always going to be there. So understand what all this information that I've given you and where to go to and what to do. Understand that it is a thing, and it does happen. Um, I can say, fortunately, it happened to somebody like me. Not like I really wanted it to, because I didn't. That the Father built a vessel strong enough to do whatever He had to do. And this is all about the Father. It has nothing to do with me. I mean, whatever it is that He's doing a test run on, I don't know what it would be. But the thing about it is that I know there's a lot of chosen ones out there that's been through the spin cycle too. Now, I don't know if they had to go through the through the witchy woo stuff and everything else like I did, but the point being is that chosen ones, you're listening. You know, you're not alone. If you're still in some kind of denial in any way, shape, fashion, or form, you shouldn't be today. You know, it's what it is. You're out the other side. If you're still spun up, go in your Psalms and go in there and find you a psalm for yourself and a psalm for the Father, and try to get cut loose. But anyhow, I've talked myself blue in the face, I think. I got a blue shirt on though. But understand, you're having problems. Makes no difference what it would be. You take it to the Father. Okay? And you can say that, well, I talked to so-and-so. I talked to so-and-so. Look, you're not talking to so-and-so. So-and-so is Father. Okay? The only way to get through anything is through Jesus. Okay? When it goes to the Father, then He will take care of it. But you got to let Him take care of it. When you get up from the floor and you go do what you do, and you come back to the floor again, stay in the presence of the Father. He is going to take care of it. He will take care of you. That's all He wants you to know, is you're His child. And He will take care of you. Just like I said, rabbits and squirrels. Okay? That's the way He wants all of us to live. And that's the truth. But anyhow, I've got you for almost 50 minutes. Anyways, I love you guys. And the point of it being that I will get something else together, and I will start doing a little bit better on this stuff, because I've been reading a lot more. And I want to get the website up and running. I'm going to try to do something with that. I will start hosting some seminars or something somewhere, somehow. And it's all of the Father, okay? And you guys, look, you're the most wonderful people in the world. You're the children of God. And as soon as you understand that, as soon as you get out of this spin cycle of the principalities and all this stuff running your life for you, when you get out the other side, you're going to come unglued and go, oh, you know, I didn't know that this life existed. And it does exist. It does. So anyways, I am a servant of God, and I am a Pisces. I hope that anything I said helped y'all. You'll see me tomorrow. I'm sure the Father's got something to say. But anyways, I love you guys. The Father loves you. Jesus on your lips. Legions of angels. Have a good one. Bye.